Michael, you are head of Stand with Ukraine Foundation.
Yeah, I'm co-founder and the president currently of Stand with Ukraine Foundation, a nonprofit based here in Los Angeles and in Greater Los Angeles, and we also operate outside of the state. We often travel to Washington D.C. to meet with representatives and discuss the support for Ukraine.
Yeah, I follow you on Instagram, on YouTube. You guys doing amazing things, and I just want to thank you for what you're doing.
Of course.
We're talking about obviously war in Ukraine. What kind of concerns me lately is all these talks, like the way some Americans are talking, like how they can be friends with Russia. And I think all these talks are just because Americans just don't understand what Russia is. Like you, obviously a lot of Ukrainians, they speak Russian and they watched Russian television, and we know what Russians speak about Americans. Have you watched Russian television? I mean, it's okay to say
to
that.
be honest, involuntarily, I have seen so many clips, which is excerpts from different TV channels, different TV channel news. I mean, major news that are spreading Russian
Like
propaganda.
Russian news, right?
Yeah.
What's like number one thing how Russians describe Americans, like in your opinion?
To be honest, they're kind of laughing at Americans, that Americans can be kind of, as they put it, Americans can be easily manipulated into believing that Russia are their friends. And a lot of Russians are just openly saying, hey, we can just say this and they'll buy this. And so that's how it's going to benefit us.
Americans? Like, what do they say Americans are like?
They normally call Americans naive and just I've heard a very kind of term that I don't like, but that's how they say it, useful idiots.
Useful idiots?
Yeah, in the sense that currently it seems that some of the mainstream media here in the United States are basically repeating everything that Russia is trying to say against Ukraine, about Ukraine, and painting the picture that Russia are just these doves of peace, trying to bring democracy to the world, trying to save the oppressed Russian speakers allegedly in Ukraine. All of that is just made up stuff. Just as much as some of the Russians are just trying to justify the war by saying that NATO was expanding and that's why Russia had to stop it. None of that is actually true, and all of Russians do understand that. They're just playing this role of just going with the flow, going with the mainstream propaganda that apparently Russians are good, and as long as Americans are buying this, they will go with it because the current administration is very favorable, trying to establish good ties, good friendship with Russia, which is another oppressive regime. And there should be no doubts about what is the end goal for Russia.
Do you think, like, if Americans understood how Russians talk about Americans, do you think they would be talking about being friends with Americans?
No,
or
absolutely
Russians?
not. I'm very much upset a lot of times when I see this like original source of the news coming straight from the mouths of Russians, and I was like, I wish this had been seen by many Americans, or at least heard, understood, because Russia are just really playing this double game where they're trying to paint themselves as the friends of the Americans currently, and just, you know, the good guys in the sense of the war between Russia and Ukraine. They're trying to paint themselves as these people who are trying to do something good.
But
they
they're
know.
laughing at Americans.
Yeah, but at the same time, absolutely,
like
they're
even
laughing.
openly.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen their new commercial for like Russian forces with Trump? And they.
Right. Yeah.
And it says, "Victory is near."
Yeah.
Right.
So true. So
like,
true.
how bizarre, how crazy that is.
It's pretty much bizarre. And like I said, I'm just very upset because if more people heard this, seen this, there would be absolutely no question, no doubt about it, who is the evil person here, who are the evil guys here. And Russia, they don't need the benefits of the developed democratic society. They're okay with just following their...
They think that that's our weakness because
Absolutely.
we have good cars,
Yeah.
or we have good laws,
Yeah, well-developed
or we have
economy,
good police,
due process,
due
all of
process.
this. Yeah.
They think that that's our weakness, and they are much stronger. Like they have Russians have superiority complex.
Yeah.
Okay, that shouldn't be a secret to anyone. And part of their superiority is because they have this shitty life, and they publicly speak about
That's
it.
true.
Like they're laughing at United States soldiers because they have an orange in their backpack. They're like, he
Yeah.
needs an orange because Russians couldn't survive like on water and like dirt for like a month.
true.
You know, they don't need like what they call like the Western comforts. They
Yeah.
hate the concept that, and they think that we're weak because we like good things, and they also think that they can scare us easily because we want to hold on to our good things, and they can just scare us. Listen, we're gonna drop a bomb on you and you're not gonna have these nice things, but at the same time we don't care if you drop a bomb on us because we don't need these nice things, right?
That's true. That's true.
That's where the disconnect comes, because some people think that Russians want the same things as we want, like as Americans, as Ukrainians.
Yeah.
They don't want those things, and they say about it.
Yeah, they're pretty much open. And another thing I'd add, there is some sort of informational bubble, if I may put it this way, in the sense that Americans, they really just get so much from the mainstream media about Russia, and the picture that's been painted, even if there are the channels that don't support Russia, they still don't paint Russia in their true colors. They don't show all the atrocities. They don't speak about all the evil that Russians are doing every day. And Russians are deliberately targeting civilians. They're deliberately targeting churches. Different.
They're proud of it.
Yeah,
They
they're very
boasting
very
about
proud
that.
when we see a lot of civilian casualties. They're just saying that Ukraine should cease to exist. Ukrainians as a nation just don't deserve the right to live. They're very much open about it. I'm pretty sure that the sort of the theme that was going on in 1939 when Nazi Germany was coming into full force, that's pretty much the same sentiments that people heard back then and supported that. And that's exactly what Russians are doing right now.
I think that's very well said. Thank you for your time today.
Of course, thank you for supporting the cause. All right.